What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Dragon Ball Legends video on Dragon Ball Central. Today, we are not going to be summoning on the Legends Rising video, but I did go ahead and do that. Check out my last video if you guys are interested in seeing how my summons personally went, because they were really good. But with that said, we are going to be talking about the Legends Rising banner, just generally how good it is, if it's worth your time, and what teams are going to benefit very significantly from the units on this banner. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So guys, the first major thing you want to check before you actually decide to summon on a banner is the sparking rates on it. It's usually going to be 5 or 7%, depending on, what it is. A lot of the time with the older banners that do sort of like have those flashbacks, we're going to have a higher chance of pulling sparkings, or we're going to get a sparking guaranteed. But with this particular banner, you're going to be looking at 7% on 7 individual sparkings, which is really good, because the other thing you want to look out for is that the sparkings that you're summoning for aren't in a pool of about 30. And in this case, we're looking at 7%, which means they're all at 1%, which is perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Even though 1% aren't the best odds, especially for free-to-play players that maybe only have 2, 3, 4,000 crystals to spend per banner, in this case, you're looking at really solid odds, and I really think that that's worth mentioning, because you look at the quality of the sparkings here, and you're looking at a very high quality banner overall, okay? None of them are irrelevant by any means. You can use any one of these sparkings if you pull it on the team that it's relevant on, okay? So in this case, you have either GT or Sun family for Goku once you do get him to 3 stars. And again, that's also worth mentioning, because you get him guaranteed at 3 stars if you get him on the 999 banner. So if you summon on him, you get him, and he's at 3 stars. You already have the Sun family buff to go with the GT tag buff. So that's pretty fantastic, and it's definitely worth mentioning. Now, Super 17 does need to be at 5 stars to make that happen, unfortunately, but you can't win them all, right? So GT Goku, really solid, I'd say. And we're going to go over his quality and Super 17's quality in general in just a minute, but I do want to talk about just the rates first. So to complement those two, we also have Goku, which is Super Saiyan GT Goku, right? So he's really solid. He's a little bit outdated just because he's been out for a little while, but he's still an absolutely ridiculously high damaging character, and definitely worth looking into, especially if you are a newer player and you want to go ahead and summon on this banner, maybe get some of the new characters, maybe even re-roll for them. It's definitely worth going ahead and keeping a pull where you do go ahead and get this Goku in particular. He's very good. And then to complement that, we also have GT Vegeta, who is very powerful and very underrated, in my opinion, on both the Vegeta family team, the GT team, and the Super Saiyan team. So yeah, very good on that particular side of the banner. Moving on, guys, we have got Android 13, who is relatively new. He's a blue character, so he's going to be really solid if you do pull him to counter the red threats that have been dropped recently, one of which just came out with a new base form GT Goku. So that's worth mentioning. It's really good, okay? This is an awesome banner. And then moving on, we got Hyper Meta Rildo, and then we've got Android 17. Android 17 was buffed not super long ago, so he's definitely very solid now, damage output wise and just utility wise. His utility was buffed immensely with his buffs when he did get them. And Hyper Meta Rildo is now getting a team with the GT team. So if you do get lucky, you pull Goku, maybe he's not going to go super well synergy wise with Goku, because obviously Goku, is also red, so you're going red. So you're going to want red, green, but in this case, you're also looking at Super 17 being a green, so maybe that counters the blues that you're going to go up against, which there aren't very many new ones to worry about other than basically LF Goku and Android 13. But yeah, that's really what you're looking at, a very high quality banner where all of the sparkings are relevant and just really able to be used on any of the teams that they go on. I'm really impressed by this banner. I'm really impressed by Bandai with what they've done with this one in particular. I've got a lot of complaints about them, but this is a very well done high value banner. Now, it's also worth mentioning there is going to be a transforming Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and full power Bojack banner coming out soon, so just keep that in mind. If you do want to save for that, then maybe you don't want to spend on this banner, maybe it's not worth it to you. But otherwise, if you're a fan of the Sun family team, if you're a fan of even, I would say, the Super Saiyan team with the 2 quality GT characters you get here, fan of the GT tag, fan of the Android tag, fan of even the Fusion Warrior tag, this is a really good banner for you, and I would definitely recommend looking into it. Now, with that said, guys, we have got to go over the 2 brand new characters before the end of the video, and obviously Goku's going to be the first one. Now, looking at his stats, all in all, 3 stars. He doesn't have the most amazing stats in the game. They are really, really solid, but they are not the most amazing, best in the game. 120k strike is not bad, not shabby by any means, but you guys know 7-star GT Goku is at 130k. Just for a point of reference, is a free-to-play character that you could have all gotten just by farming out the GT Force and using that team to get him. So what you're looking at here is just a really, really solid utility character and a very solid self-buff character, and we're going to get more into that in a second. He does hold 2 Strike Arts cards. He has the Saiyan, Sun Family, Kids, and GT tags, which I would say all of them except for Kids are very, very relevant and very, very good and going to have their own teams they can go on. So the utility from Goku already on what teams he's going to be going on is very, very solid in my opinion. Moving over to his abilities, main ability going to be an Ultimate Arts card. Let's go ahead and check that out. So his Dragon Fist Ultimate Arts card deals massive impact damage. That's fine. Gain attribute upgrade, minus 50% to sustain damage cut for enemies. And that's fine. That's great and all. Don't get me wrong. That's great to have. It's a nice utility piece there. Now, the real thing you're looking for here is Dragon Fist also nullifies restore health when it reaches 0, so the survivor endurance effects are going to be completely nullified for 3 timer counts. So basically, for Dragon Fist and possibly the arts card after it, if you do connect with an arts card or are able to bait something out with a tackle or a tap blast or something like that, then potentially that could also have a break in the endurance. I'm not entirely sure what the timing is on that and what the timer counts look like. For the use of Dragon Fist, it's very possible that it's going to be over by the end of it, but it does look like Dragon Fist is going to be very, very nice for countering endurance-based teams. So obviously just shutting down full power Frieza, which is, again, very, very welcome for people that don't like the Lineage of Evil team. Not me included, but whatever, that's fine. Now, looking towards his Z abilities, you're going to be looking at a strike attack and defense buff at 5 stars, just a strike attack buff, which is very, very nice at 3 stars for GT and Sun Family. So GT is obviously a very, very mistreated and not appreciated tag, so it's nice to see this. On top of that, the Sun Family team is extremely powerful and definitely extremely relevant at this point in time. Now, since LF Gohan is going to be the de facto best option for Red on that team, I'm not really sure how I feel about this Goku, but maybe he does have some synergies and I just need to look more into it. That would make him be worth using more than just, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. With that said, now going down to his unique abilities, that is what really makes him absolutely insane and then goes back and feeds into his ultimate very well. Now, when he enters the battlefield, he's going to have 40% damage inflicted buff, which is really, really nice. On top of that, 40% key recovery for 20 timer counts every time he switches in. So if you're a better than average player, you're going to be switching very, very quickly and, taking full use of substitution counts and everything. And that's going to be a very powerful effect to have. 40% is nothing to sneeze at for sure. And key recovery, 40% on an already relatively high key restore of 2342. That is pretty insane. So worth mentioning. Chaotic aggression is definitely the most busted part of this though. Now, he's going to already, and something you need to know is that he's going to be increasing his arts card draw speed by 1 level for 10 timer counts every time he uses a green card, okay? So if he uses his green card and then he goes ahead and he's using chaotic aggression by default every single time he uses a strike or blast arts card, you're going to be gaining back ki every single time. You're also going to be getting extra ultimate damage, and if you pay attention, his main ability gives you 30 keys, so you can basically combo off, use his additional arts card draw speed to combo off for longer than usual. Maybe your opponent switches in another character, and then you use Dragon Fist, and you have the key no matter what to use it, because unless, I guess, your opponent does, sap your key with one of those characters that does do that, you're going to be looking at having enough key for sure to use that ultimate card. So pretty amazing stuff, guys. I mean, this is a ridiculous synergy. Everything comes together very well. And then on top of that, again, you got 15% buff to ultimate damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. So basically, you combo off, you get a whole bunch of stacked up damage on that ultimate, and then you just throw down with that freaking ultimate, and it just decimates the opponent. So, yeah. Goku is really, really good, even though his stats maybe wouldn't suggest that initially. He's like that ridiculously powerful. He is very, very good. So I give him just a passing grade in the sense that he's very, very very, very worth getting, very worth summoning for if you don't have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Now, if you do, and you don't really care about, having the best, I guess, necessarily team member for that team, Even though I guess that would be arguable at this point, then stick with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, wait for another banner, and then probably wait for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan transforming to come out very, very soon with full power Bojack, because that's probably going to be better use for your crystals. With that said, if you're a GT fan, this is a must-have unit. You need to get this, okay? This is real good, okay? You're going to get decimated in PvP by this in a lot of cases. So, yeah, just keep that in mind, and, yeah, good luck polling for him. With that said, let's talk about Super 17 for a little bit. All right, guys, Super 17, obviously a defense type is not going to have the best offensive stats, but he still has really good blast attack and not too shabby strike attack either. 120k and 110k respectively, not too bad at all. Definitely going to output quite a lot of damage, especially after we talk about that ability set, because it is ridiculous. But before we get into that, strike defense, blast defense going to be really solid, above 83k on both. Key restore, very solid, critical, you know, about as per usual. So what you're looking at here is just, you know, a very highly defensive unit. 1.2 million health is very solid as well. So, you know, with no focus whatsoever on his unique ability or Z ability or main ability or anything like that, we're looking at a very solid unit from a defensive point of view, and possibly even on the right team from an offensive point of view, especially you consider that 3 of the 4 tags on this particular character are definitely going to be very good tags to have right now. Fusion Warrior in particular are going to be very crazy to deal with, especially with Fusion 13. So Android's going to be super fun to deal with, and GT is going to be, again, newly very good to run with particular teammates. And, you know, that's not going to be super often that happens, I would imagine. But in the specific case where you do have that team getting ran against you, it's going to be hard to deal with it. So all in all, very good from just that one particular status screen. Now, moving on to the main ability, Z ability, and unique abilities, we are looking at some craziness, okay? First and foremost, Ultimate Arts card, Shocking Death Ball, and then 50% to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. So you go ahead, you get the first strike off, you use your main ability, you use all your Blast Arts cards that you can, you throw down a ridiculous amount of damage, you go ahead and you decide to end it off with this ultimate, which gives you not only, okay, it's going to paralyze your opponents, all of them, 100% chance of paralysis on all of the opponents on your opponent's team, which is just insanity, okay? That's absolutely busted powerful. You guys know how ridiculous paralysis is to deal with in this game. It's going to be stupid when you do go ahead and get hit by this. And then on top of that, downgrade plus 10 to strike arts cost for 20 timer counts on hit for all enemies. So it's going to make it even harder to combo off if you're going up against this character. It's just, it's difficult, man. It's really difficult. On top of that, green card going to be also ridiculous. Absorbs enemy key blast attacks. Following effects occur when absorption is successful. So he not only does this, and we'll see this with a unique ability, when he switches in on cover change, okay, but he also restores his own health by 10%, reduces damage received by 30% for 5 timer counts. So, you know, if he's getting comboed off on, then you're going to be able to mitigate that by about a third. And then on top of that, 20% damage inflicted buff for 20 timer counts, and reduces enemy key by 50, cutting his complete ability to combo off. If you're going up against Super 17 and he shuts you down with energy absorption on cover change or on green card, he's gonna shut down half your combo, dude. That is busted. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Moving on, Android strike and blast defense. You're gonna get a double double defense buff, sorry. And on top of that, you're gonna have a GT addition to that particular Z ability at 5 stars. 3 stars, unfortunately, we're not seeing that this time around. But you know what? Again, like I said before with Goku, something had to give. And in this case, unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing it happen with GT at 3 stars. But again, GT people are going to really enjoy this character at 5 stars. It's going to be a good time, man. Now, moving on to the unique abilities, which are just ridiculous. Growing energy. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Reduces damage received by 30% for 10 timer counts. That's really good. That's really good. He didn't need anything else. That's it. That's all he needed, dude. Reduce damage by 30%, by almost a third for 10 timer counts, just for entering the battlefield. Every single time he switches in, man. 30% of blast damage inflicted per defeated enemy for 15 timer counts, and then an additional 20% damage inflicted every time this character defeats an enemy. It's all gonna stack up, guys. And the amount of times that this whole character like has these buffs stack up on it at once is going to mean this is gonna be a very difficult character to deal with as a whole. You're just not going to have an easy time with Super 17 if you let him go at any point. And that's pretty much going to be the same as, you know, Super Vegito was, because again, Super Vegito buffs just stacked up one after another, after another, after another, over and over again, until it was just a stupid just damage cannon where one strike cart does, you know, 400k damage. And in this case, you're looking at a very similar situation, albeit maybe not as ridiculous as Super Vegito was when he first came out, but maybe as ridiculous. We don't know yet. We haven't seen him integrate in the meta, but I will say, based on his unique ability, based on how everything synergizes, it's ridiculous, man. And then Dr. Mew's absorption equipment absorbs ki blast when changing cover, and then it's the same exact thing. Okay, 20% damage inflicted, 30% for 5 timer counts, 10% health, and 50 ki. And then when the enemy switches characters, you draw on a special arts card next. It activates not once, not twice, but 3 times. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10 to strike arts cost for 10 timer counts. Again, every freaking time your opponent switches the character while Super 17 is on the field. I don't know how much else I could like say in an overly exaggerated, excited way for you to get how ridiculous this character is. Like, you look at the stats and you're like, it's okay. And then you start reading the abilities and it's like, did they even test this? Did they think before they added this character to the game? This is ridiculous, dude. And he's going to be on the Fusion Warrior team, taking advantage of all the Fusion Warrior offensive buffs that you can get. I don't even have words, man. He is ridiculous. So, again, we're going to go back to my recommendations, okay? Who should be summoning on this banner? All right, guys, so the final verdict, is this banner worth summoning on? Well, I think I need to boil it down to a few teams. If you're a Sun family player, I don't think this banner is worth summoning on, albeit you may want to summon on it anyways if you disagree with me on my opinion on Goku and you think that he really ridiculously outdoes Super Saiyan 2 Gohan to the point that you would instantly replace him without any second thought. If you think that, maybe you do want to summon for Goku. On top of that, Super Saiyan Goku, also a good option. And if you're a Saiyan player, maybe you want to also consider summoning on this banner because Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta are all very, very good. If you're a GT player, you've already spent all your crystals on this banner, so I probably don't even need to be making this video for you guys or even mentioning you at all because you've already spent everything and you've either gotten lucky or not gotten lucky at all, and you're probably down in the comments already commenting about it. So with that said, moving on, we've got the Fusion Warrior team. Fusion Warriors are absolutely incredible with the addition of Super 17. I almost would have to recommend summoning for Super 17 alone, even though you could get shafted for 20,000 crystals and not get Super 17 at all. I think it's almost worth it because he's that ridiculously good. I think he's going to be around for a long time in the meta. And finally, again, Android players, you probably have already gone ahead and spent all your crystals on this, but if you haven't, I would say it's probably worth summoning on. Super 17 and Android 13 are fantastic. Android 17 is still really, really solid, especially if you're not, you know, a top tier, top 10k player, you know, battle rank 50 every season player. You're just getting the ball rolling, just getting started, and you really enjoy Androids. This is the banner for you. But yeah, guys, definitely let me know down in the comment section below. Do you agree with all my opinions on this banner? Do you think that it's actually not very good and it's not worth summoning on? Or do you think that it's just a busted value like I do and you probably should summon on it if you're at all affected by any of the tags that I mentioned? Definitely a very, very good banner in my opinion, though. It's one of the better banners they put out recently. I have to say they're kind of on a roll between that banner and backing up. These two banners, the Maiden Force of Love banner and the Rising Girls 2 banner, I definitely think that we're looking at a very, very good age of Dragon Ball where we're looking at ridiculously value banners, okay? And they may be trap banners in some of you guys' opinions. They may be bait banners, whatever you want to call them. But I think the value on them for the current day is really good. And obviously, even though crazy stuff is always around the corner, you definitely can't wait forever to summon for the craziest thing because there's always going to be something better right around the corner. So let me know what you think of all that and more, and if you summon on this banner, let me know how you did down in the comment section below. If you got lucky or unlucky, I'd love to hear it. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Till then, guys, Showcase is coming very soon. Peace.